a little dead meme. Fuck you, little bitch. You think you can fuck with me? What about ring? Fuck you, little bitch. Hey, look, I'm hoping some bread. Fuck you, little bitch.
Welcome. Hear ye. It's another episode of the Snark Tank Podcast featuring your lovely hosts, me, this person, and that person down there. If you're on video, that makes sense. If you're listening, I'm sorry. We're back. It's been a while since we've all recorded in the same place. Or at the same, not in the same place at the same time. We're finally...
Give yourself a...
give yourself a round of applause for waiting for our idiot asses.
Wait.
Yeah. I saw a bunch of motherfuckers God damn, it's almost been a month. I mean, I'm sure.
I know, yeah. It's we just put out. We just hold on. In fairness, there's an episode that just went off, that just went on the Patreon and free feeds, yesterday, and there will be another one tomorrow for patrons. So patrons are gonna get double in like a really short amount of time, and then it's free feed. Like everything. The schedule's normal from here on out. Just this, moving, and Kingston was actually supposed to not be here for today's episode, but his flight got screwed over.
Yeah, I got fucked over, so I'm not at home visiting my family. So I'm recording for you guys, so you guys should be appreciative. Yeah, because I'd rather be with my family than record for you guys. I'm sorry. In all honesty,
damn,
that's fair.
I'm sorry. I miss my grandma.
Not surprising at all.
Yeah, I miss my grandma a little bit.
But we're back. And we've obviously missed a lot of stuff. There's some stuff to talk about. There are some international missing persons cases. There's PlayStation showcases. There's all sorts of nonsense. We can talk about whatever the hell we want. I figured we'll take this opportunity to just go through a ton of questions earlier on in the show than we normally would. Usually we do questions at the hour mark. We might go a little bit earlier, depending on where the conversation takes us. But we've got a ton of them, because obviously we do. I don't know. What are you guys feeling?
There's only two
I look like
things.
Uka Uka.
You look like what?
Uka Uka, Uka Uka.
What are you doing? Don't pay no attention to him. What were you gonna say, Derek?
Uka Uka.
There's the only two things that have interested me and since we've been gone is something that happened a couple weeks ago, the showcase, the PlayStation showcase, and God of War Ragnarok, which is just so juicy. There's so many things to explore. I almost even wanted to make I don't make videos about games, but I was tempted to probe at some shit that I saw that I feel like some people weren't talking about. And I was like, dude. But I'm not. There's so many creators already, so it's why even do it? What's the fucking point?
It's fun to make those videos, man. Actually, and it's so low stress because it's literally just like you said. There's so many other people talking about it, so it's why not? Almost, if you want to.
Well, maybe. I mean, maybe because there is a part of me that wants to get into the conversation and speculate about some of the stuff that they dropped in the trailer.
Yeah,
because. Usually people drop things for certain reasons. There was people saying, oh, they showed too much. Oh, what a big reveal. And I'm like, well, but is it? And I just, my gears are turning, man. I don't know. Did you guys, obviously you saw it. It's part of your fucking job.
Yeah.
Of course I saw it, dude. I streamed it and everything. It was fucking amazing. I'm excited for Spider-Man, bro. That got my pants heavy. Because of fucking...
I wish I would have just saw more though.
That's true.
And not just
teaser. It was more of a teaser than a trailer, definitely.
Yeah.
Come on, you could show me more. Well, you guys have plenty more. Come on.
Well,
come
dude,
on.
Insomniac specifically, that studio has been just consistently I don't understand how they're making so many, because they just did Miles Morales, right? When the PS5 launched. Then a few months later they did Ratchet and Clank. And now they come out with this hey, by the way, we're doing Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. It's I don't know what, they're on crack over there at Insomniac.
Yeah, something is not. I wonder if later something's going to come out about people dying and
crunch.
Just too much crunch, dude. I wonder.
Supposedly, they're one of the few studios that does not actually have a huge crunch problem. It's actually apparently a big source of pride for them or whatever. They don't crunch, but they somehow make. I don't know. It's insane. The work ethic at that studio must be insane, because I was excited when I saw the Wolverine. trailer. Like just
because that was out of the fucking clear blue sky. That's why. No one would have thought a Wolverine game would have ever existed again.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, I guess that's just done, no
I'm excited.
Wolverine.
I'm excited though, because like the last Wolverine game that we got was actually a pretty good one, I thought. Like that
was very good.
Yeah. Like, and it was a movie-based game too, off of a movie, I'm sorry. A movie that was terrible. So like the fact that they made like a really good game out of that, and the fact that Insomniac is behind it, and Insomniac's probably like the main studio in Sony's like pocket right now that is putting out consistently fun to play shit. Like, God bless, like, like, Naughty Dog makes really impressive looking games, and God of War is cool, and it's enjoyable, and the story's really cool, but, like, Insomniac just seems to just consistently make really fun, awesome shit. So, like, them taking a stab at, like, a rated M Wolverine game, sign me up for that, like, absolutely.
Is it rated M, though? Are you sure it's rated M?
It has to be. If it's not, it's going to be garbage.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
That's the thing. I don't know how they're going to not make it rated M.
Here's the thing. I would have a hard time believing that they could even get a pitch off the ground for a T-rated Wolverine game, but I think the director or somebody at the studio gave an interview, and they said, we are looking to make the game that a Wolverine game that's very mature in tone. That doesn't give a lot of information necessarily, but I can't imagine that they would make a Wolverine game where there's no blood. Like, that's so. I can't imagine that they would do that. Like, they're smart enough to know that would be dumb, I think.
I think that they should make it rated M because obviously it's Wolverine. And if Wolverine's in something, he's gotta at least get something blown off of him, and in a scene where he's talking to you while pieces of his face are coming back. Like, that has to be part of his character, Well,
I was looking in the trailer. I didn't notice it, and maybe I didn't have my glasses on or something. But when he was sitting at the bar and he pops his claws out, I was trying to look and see if he was healing. I didn't see that, and I felt like that was kind of a missed thing. Did you guys? Did you see if he was like? Because I didn't watch it again. I saw it that one time, but I felt like I saw enough of it to where he heals so quickly. I feel like I should have seen him healing as he was just sitting there.
His claws go in; they usually heals. From what I know, as like a person that reads the comics. So
definitely the slits were healed. But like you saw that he was all like kind of cut up and stuff. Like there was damage to it. There was like damage to him.
That might be a plot point though. You never know.
That's actually
it might be wearing on him. It might be wearing on him, and you never know. He might get the whole poison thing.
Yeah,
that's an interesting point. Actually, that's an interesting. If they do that, that would be fucking brilliant. That it would explain why that's not.
Do you guys remember the X-Men 2 game when you played as it was only a Wolverine game for PS2? Because I played the fuck out of that game, and that game was horrible. But I remember playing it, and like there was a part where your plane crashes, and for like 5 hours of gameplay, you have no healing factor. So you're just running around trying not to get killed, and you have like the smallest slither of life. And I was like, why did they think this was fun? But if it's a narrative point, it might be cool.
They always do that. There's always a mission where they do that, and it drives me nuts. I remember playing Rise of the Imperfects, and I think it was Iron Man, and it was so frustrating where it's like, you need to beat this level without essentially getting hit. And I was so mad because I'm like, this isn't fun. I want to do this if I have the option. Like, I want the option to be like, I need to play flawlessly. But they actually threw in a mission.
Oh, you have it? Oh,
well, what do you know? Well, what do you fucking know?
That's dope. I don't, man. I wish I have it. I have
Rise of the Imperfects was my shit because I would always play as Spider-Man, and I would like get my that was like co-op, like a couch co-op kind of beat 'em up type game.
It also had a versus mode too, though.
Yeah, it did have a versus mode, and I would bring my friends into every like. I would be like, come on, we'll have fun playing Marvel Nemesis Resident Evil. We would pick the bridge map, and I would pick Spider-Man. I would just throw them down off the bridge, like over and over. It was so cheap. Like, that could not have been a competitive game at all. But like,
I fucking love that game. For me,
it was fun.
It's still fun. For me, there was a game called Marvel Heroes. That was like a fucking stupid ass like buy like little points.
Wasn't that on the phone?
It was on it was on PlayStation. I know that. And me and Jalen were playing it, and we played it until like we found out about it like for a week, and we played it, and we got every character because there was a point where every character was like worth 1 credit, and we're playing it, and then it closed on us, and we were so upset because it was so fun. I was like, yo, everybody's won. And he was like, what are you talking about? Every character, like the whole vast variety of like them Marvel characters are all 1 point. I was playing and I was having so much fun. And then one day I woke up and I went to class and I came back to play and the server shut down and I fucking wept. I wept along tears. But it's pretty much the same thing as Rise of the Imperfects and Ultimate Alliance. And I was like, this is so great. Such a great experience.
I love those games. Those are like one of the few games that, because I'm not a huge co-op guy. I don't really like playing with people that much unless it's like we're exploring, doing some shit, whatever. But like those games are always fun. I love beat 'em ups, and anytime like beat 'em ups with people, it's like the best way to socialize, because you don't even really need to talk if you don't want to. Y'all can just play the fucking game. Yeah. And that shit was. But the PlayStation Showcase, so they showed they showed a lot of stuff. They had like Grand Theft Auto 5 was there for some reason again. I just don't
still.
Just I feel like we're gonna get trolled for eternity. I don't think 6 is ever coming out.
They don't need to make a 6, bro. They're making more money than games that are releasing sequels. With that game, it's still like one of the most high, like the most money, so much money is being put into that game still. Mm-hmm. It's like paralyzing. Like, I'm pretty sure they're making more money off that than Nintendo's making, period.
It's pretty crazy, especially with how mundane the game actually is when you think about it. Mm-hmm. When you think about GTA 5 as an imagination, as a concept, where it's like, here's LA essentially. There you go. And then people fucking love it.
Because you can do a bunch of shit. I don't adore the game, but from what I know, the community, like the world in that game is insane.
It's cool, but like I wish that there was, like, say for example, I'm just going way off, but let's just say Mass Effect. I wish Mass Effect had the Citadel, you were able to go in it that much. Like, I would love that. I would love just a concept of some future shit or something where it has that much like a cyberpunk kind of a thing where there's like a lot of interactive in a completely new concept, and not just like, oh, I can be on the Santa Monica Pier. That's not the Santa Monica Pier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get it.
It's 150 million copies, that game, which is
that
doesn't
mind-boggling.
That doesn't sound like a lot if you're not familiar with, like, if you don't have anything to compare it to. But I promise you, like, that's a staggering amount of copies to sell.
Wasn't Spider-Man like fucking like 20 million?
Spider-Man PS4 hit 20 million after like I think a year or two. You know,
and granted, Grand Theft Auto 5 has existed it's like a 5-year-old game now.
Well, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out in 2013, so like
so it's an 8-year-old game.
Yeah,
but that's still a lot of money.
Remember, that shit almost got 1 million copies in a week.
Yeah,
imagine.
But what that means,
imagine that shit.
But what that means really is that an Xbox 360 game is still selling a ton today, which is just staggering.
It's probably up there. One of the highest grossing games of all time. It's definitely probably top 20.
Just fucking unreal.
I think I even got those. I think I got my numbers wrong anyway. I think I meant in a day. I think it was 1 million. It was almost like 1 million copies in a day or something.
A lot of people bought it.
Something ridiculous.
I was the only person that didn't buy it out of my friends. I remember Chris got it immediately. Joe got it immediately. I don't know if Paul got it. I know Jalen got it immediately. And then our friends Alex and Xander got it. Aaron and Xander
I remember
got it
I got it pretty quick, but it was because I was like, oh, sick. I get to buy a Grand Theft Auto game when it comes out, because I never was able to do that really, because like I was always younger, you know? So Grand Theft Auto 4 came out like when I was too young to buy it. So like I was like, yeah, I'm going to get Grand Theft Auto, and it'll be like a moment of passage for me almost. But
I got it because I traded I got a bunch of shit for I got a Gears of War edition, like Xbox Elite or whatever.
Mm-hmm,
and a bunch of shit because I traded it for my PS4. Now hear me out. I told you guys that I won it through Taco Bell. And so there was nothing of it. I mean, I still like I have the receipts. But it's just like there was nothing. The fucking knack was available, and I was like, fuck this, man. Like, I don't want... Why the hell would you want the console? There's nothing to play. So I took advantage of... I got GTA 5 and a ton of games. Some fucking kid some kid was just like, all right, boom. And then I thought like I came up big time and then got a PS4 like way later when there was a bunch of shit to play on it. And yeah, I thought GTA 5 was really fun, but not to that extent. Like, it's pretty insane, but I get it though. It's kind of like, it's like a more like action Sims, I guess, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
So
it's like Second Life, except you could be a total asshole and criminal, you know? I think it's been a long time since I played it though also. So like the GTA 5 that I'm remembering might not even be the same GTA 5 that like exists currently. Like it's possible that it's like way different now. I imagine the single player is the same. But what's really like, let's be real, like the GTA Online is the thing that's like really raking in the money.
Absolutely.
Yeah. My nephew plays it. My nephew was like, there was a period of time where there were like gang wars going on in the game, and he would have to like watch walking the streets of the gang. It's like some person in like a purple alien suit might run up on you and put you in a truck and then take you somewhere. And he's like, that's the game. He was like, it's insane. He's like, I can't play it. I'm so stressed. I'm like, why? Because people keep kidnapping me and like taking my money and shit and then leaving me in random places. They fuck up my cars. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
So I remember I stopped playing. Like I was having a good time with Grand Theft Auto Online. Like me and my friend Eyeblind were like on it all the time because it was just a massive playground. I understand the appeal of it, but like the thing that took me out of it was like, I remember when I was able to buy my first car, and then they were like, okay, you have to pay for insurance. I was like,
yeah, what?
And then like you couldn't blow other people's cars up because then you would have to pay for their insurance in the game. And I'm like, I'm not looking to pay insurance in Grand Theft Auto. Like, are you kidding? The whole game is based around stealing cars, and you literally couldn't steal other players' cars. You could only steal cars from like NPCs and shit. And it's like, all right, well, this is, you know, I don't know. GTA 4 to me was like a really good balance, like of just like you could just do whatever the fuck you wanted. Weapons were just like strewn all over the place.
My friend in GTA 4, I would wait in front of. I'd go on buildings in front of ATMs, and I would just wait for people to deposit money, and I would shoot them and take their money.
Yeah,
I did that for fucking hours.
I used to jump off of buildings blasting "There Goes My Hero" off over the microphone, like in fucking what's that movie that was around?
The other guys.
Yeah, and like it never didn't get a laugh, especially if you like cut the music off right when you hit the ground. People would burst the fuck out loud. It was so fucking funny. But I don't know. Like I understand. I understand why it's popular. I'm just getting kind of sick of seeing. Like, there's no reason why GTA 5 should have a slot at the PlayStation Showcase. Like, I just don't think it belongs there.
I think it's proven it deserves a slot, man.
But I think it's also proven that it doesn't need it. You know what I mean? Like, it's also proven that there's no reason. Like, everybody knows about Grand Theft Auto. Like, you don't need to. You don't need to sell it this hard. But there was other stuff there. There was like some Borderlands spin-off that looks kind of all right. It's like D&D Borderlands. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It looks fun. I'm sure it's fine. Borderlands has always been like a pretty solid game. I just, I don't know if I'm gonna, be excited for it. There's Rainbow Six, Forspoken, Project E. KOTOR. KOTOR is interesting.
Oh, I'm excited for that. I'm excited.
So, are you familiar with everything about it? This remake.
What's happening with it?
No, I'm not. So what the fuck? Are you gonna ruin it for me?
I don't
Are you gonna fucking ruin it already?
I don't want to. Don't let the smile on my face betray my emotions. I get no joy out of this. But do you remember? You'll know this, Derek. Do you remember a few years ago? There was this famous clip going around of some. It was like a news report talking about Grand Theft Auto 5. Unbelievable that this is coming back to GTA. But there was a news report about like Grand Theft Auto 5 and how people were committing virtual rapes. And there was a traffic cone. Like it was
yes, dude.
Wait,
yes.
what?
It was just like it was like this ridiculous thing where like people were like, there was an animation that you could, I guess people were like modding into the game of like humping or something, and people would go up to people and just do that animation, and that was being considered like virtual rape or like virtual sexual assault. Whatever. That's not the point. Everybody's made fun of that to the end of time. But like the whole point, the reason why it blew up was like the news reporter in like a serious voice was like, the attacks look startlingly realistic, and it's just a man made of traffic cones doing some. It's the dumbest shit. But there's a woman in that video who's talking outside of a GameStop, talking to them about how bad it is. and that woman is in charge of KOTOR, the KOTOR remake, like actually for real. So
it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Look,
KOTOR is too good of a game. Like
look,
I just finished.
And then
KOTOR.
when asked if it was her favorite Star Wars game, she was like, "No."
But which it might be too though. KOTOR 2 might be.
Okay,
because 2 is the best game.
Man.
It's just a little concerning to hear about a remake being made by somebody who doesn't necessarily even like the game. You know what I mean? Like it's a little. Did she say
she didn't like it, or did she say it wasn't her favorite?
You can talk amongst yourselves, and I'll do a quick fact check.
Because I look, man. It's a little. It's just giving me flashbacks of stuff that I thought we were done with, if you know what I mean. I thought giving the crazy person like a good position. I thought we were done with that. I thought it was just a little.
Why does Star Wars do this? Why does Star Wars in particular just give their shit to people that are just not capable of dealing with this? Like, there's some way that in the room, they did not give Filoni the new Star Wars series. There was somehow people were like, let's not give it to this guy that single-handedly revitalized the new generation of Star Wars. Let's give it to fucking J.J. Abrams, that nigga that made. What did he make?
I mean,
Super 8. Was that him?
Yeah, but see, what they wanted was they were hoping that, do the same thing you did to Star Trek. That's basically what they wanted. Because Star Trek, for people who aren't fans of Star Trek, was really good, right? Like the Chris Pine ones.
I didn't hate those. I like original Star Trek too, but they were pretty good.
Star Trek has always been filler to me. Like whenever I'm watching Star Trek, it's on in the background. I'm not like it's never been like, oh, I love Star Trek. It never will be that. But the new ones, I enjoyed them very much so. You know, and I think so because I'm not a diehard Star Trek fan. Mm-hmm. So they're like, do the same thing they did it to Force Awakens, right? Which was like, fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I understand your point. I completely understand your point. I just look. I'm gonna still say maybe things will be fine because it's hard to fuck up a remake in a way that just remake the fucking game.
Yeah.
Just make it look good. And so if you change it too much, people are gonna fucking what's the point? You can't even call it a remake. Why would you, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
I feel like the blueprint do Resident Evil 2. That's it.
Yeah.
I think that's the blueprint.
Yeah, or Final Fantasy. Well, Final Fantasy VII Remake was another one where they changed a little bit.
It's an entirely different game. That's an entirely different video game.
So, but that's what I'm saying. It's like it's still a remake, or it's still called Final Fantasy VII Remake. So a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, is it going to be like the Final Fantasy VII Remake of KOTOR?" And it's like, I don't know if people want that because KOTOR is like unanimously like heralded as I think most people think it's like the best story in the Star Wars like universe. Like I've seen that like take multiple times. Like
it's definitely up there. Like I beat KOTOR, I think like a week or two ago, and I didn't play KOTOR when I was younger because I didn't understand it. And KOTOR it's really fucking good. It's a really good fucking story. I still like certain Star Wars things more than it, but like as a video game, that's a video game you spend time with, like 60 hours with, and you're like, oh, this is really, 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 really fucking good.
The only thing I can see about this woman is that she like there's a lot of tweets about her being like kind of playing defense for like the new trilogy or whatever, or like specifically like The Last Jedi is like the best Star Wars movie ever. And it's like, which is not ideal to be here. It's not ideal to hear like one of the worst Star Wars stories being praised by somebody who's in charge of remaking the best one. But I think I honestly agree with you guys. Like I don't know if I don't know how much jeopardy this game is because it's a remake. Like you can only do so much before it's not even a remake anymore. So I think it'll probably be fine.
It probably will be. I think in like you said, Final Fantasy VII, I think is such an outlier because since the PSP, they were already doing like that was the style. You can tell moving forward, that's what they were going to do. Yeah, so it's like, to be honest, like I said, I personally am still a huge fan of turn-based combat. I would love to see just a remake of old school shit in that same style. I would love to see that because there's just something, I don't know, appealing to, like, it's like fucking people that play chess. Like, I see it in the same realm. It's just an interesting chess to me. So I would love to see, like, just remakes of just, this old school style shit, but it just looks fucking amazing. Yeah. I would love that. But, I don't mind if they change the combat of KOTOR, which I'm pretty sure they're gonna fucking do.
Yeah.
It's fine. Because I understand.
I think everybody knows that the gameplay of KOTOR needs to change drastically. It's the story.
Look, okay. The gameplay, KOTOR is very D&D Mass Effect, but Star Wars skin. Like, it's very, like, these are your stat allocations. This is what you do with this. You get this ability. Hey, you got 17 dexterity. You can start doing that. And my D&D side is like, this is fun because it's reminded of a game I play. But, fuck, bro, it's so clunky. And, like, there's sometimes I just don't even want to look at the combat. Like, that's one of the few games that I try to rush past the combat to get to, like, story moments. But at the same time, I can tell you one reason why KOTOR is so much, even as a game, without it being a story, as a game, why it's so much better, is the lack of random encounters, bro. Random encounters are what destroys RPGs. Like, turn-based RPGs, random encounters ruin the game, bro. They are so annoying. Like, every RPG, all the modern ones,
I agree.
They took it out of Persona. It's still in Pokemon, but sort of not really. They kind of taken it, moving out of Pokemon too. Like, random encounters, fuck game. Because I'm playing Final Fantasy 4 right now, one of my favorite video games. But the fact that I can't exactly dictate when I'm gonna get into combat fucks me up.
Because the whole point of an RPG, is like kind of like planning. And if you can't really plan for what's ahead of you, then everything gets fucked. Yeah, like I can't remember what game I was playing, but it was something. It was like some RPG that I think it was the reason why I just put down turn-based combat for like a really, really long time. Where I was like setting myself up and my party for like a good encounter, and then I hit this thing that depleted most of my health, and then I hit another thing that depleted all my items, and then I had to go back and do it again, and then I had the same exact problem, so I had to overbuy, and then the last time that I did it, when I overstocked, nothing happened to me, and I was like, this is fucked. I hate this. I don't know, like turn-based RPG specifically, I still have not really recovered from. I still have not gone back to them and enjoyed them in quite the same way. Like, I like tactics games now. Like, I would love... Like, because tactics is one of those things where it's like, I feel like you could shove any genre into a tactics game and it would... Or not any genre, but like any game into a tactics game and it would probably be awesome. Like, you could easily have like a tactics... like a Destiny tactics game. Like, easily.
Absolutely.
Or like a fucking...
Or like a
even
fucking
just looking at like a Borderlands
Baldur's
tactics.
Gate is a tactics game. Literally, pretty much.
What?
Like, the way that like CRPGs, the way CRPGs play now, like Divinity and Baldur's Gate, those are kind of tactics games. You control what they do, and it's a little more interactive, I would say.
Just scaled back. Yeah.
Because they took the turn-based aspects of turn-based video games, and they took tactics, and they're like, let's just meet in a middle ground of this. And people love them. They work out really, really well. Like Origins, Dragon Age Origins. Yeah. It's like halfway towards being a tactics game. And it's really fucking good.
I have found a new appreciation for those types of games that I didn't know. And it was because of Gears Tactics. Because I was like, because a lot of tactics games that exist now, or like before, were like, I don't know, like Final Fantasy Tactics, which like I'm just not a Final Fantasy fan, so like I didn't really care about the world or whatever. XCOM, which is its own thing, but like I'm just not into it. Just something about the aesthetic just didn't drive. But Gears, it's like, oh, I know Gears of War. I don't have to do a lot of heavy lifting, and just being able to ease myself into that and be like, oh, this is a cool style. Now I just want like all sorts of random like I want a Simpsons tactics game. You know what I mean?
That sounds.
I feel like
fun.
it'd be fucking fun. Actually, I feel like you could make that into something
weird.
That shit
would fucking sell, dude. That shit would sell.
Well, you know why I'm convinced that too? Because like the South Park games are like just turn-based RPGs, and those work amazingly well.
Yeah.
I don't know. But...
And see, I appreciated not like doing the game that they wanted to do, where it's like, I'm a fan of this shit. This is what it's gonna be. Where I imagine a lot of the fucking people growing up on South Park and stuff, or people that are kind of became fans later on, never played fucking turn-based because they kind of went out. Like say in the 2000s, like that shit was gone. It was like, fuck all this shit.
Yeah, it was all action games. Like, you know,
turn-based was very 90s. It's very 90s type thing.
Yeah, I mean, it still has a place in my heart. But I recognize if somebody doesn't like it, it's like I said, a lot of people don't like to play fucking chess, where you just have to like sit and think before you do something. Like, I get it. You just want to now. You just want to go now. I get it. Like, it's not for everybody. And if anyone's like, fuck this, I don't like it, I'm like, that's cool, man. Like, I don't like Battle Royale. Gives a fuck, you know? It's all good.
What's also insane is that, like, when you think of for the new Final Fantasy VII Remake, I talked about random encounters. There are random encounters in that game, if I'm not mistaken, right? But
but you can just fuck off, though.
You can fuck off, and how dynamically and how oppressively you beat the dog shit out of people you play. You're like, oh, this is fine. I don't mind, because Cloud is doing somersaults with a sword bigger than himself. And there's this black guy yelling stuff at people, so I'm fine. It's the way you encounter it now. It's like way better. But random encounters are fucking they need to be taken out of games. Don't make games random encounters, devs. Trust me. I know what I'm doing. I'm a bit of a gamer.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I'm somewhat of a gamist myself.
I'm somewhat of a gamer.
We should since we're talking about video games, Matthew Bush wrote in. And he says, I love you all, and I hope Derek and Chris have moved safely and are all well. Quite simply, what games have you been playing in August? I've played Hades and Ghost of Tsushima and loved both of them. Stay safe. Hope you guys are settled. Matt from South Wales. So
thank you, bud. We appreciate it.
Yeah, those are great. Those are two great games, by the way.
I've been playing a lot of Destiny. Like heavy amounts.
Fucking Destiny niggas.
I've been jumping into Destiny a lot.
What the hell have I been playing? Well, I was...
Well, you were moving like me.
So in August. And then, so late August, that was when things got really weird. But before that, so me and my friend, we were huge fans of NBA 2K2 and the Dreamcast. And we missed those type of games. We missed basketball games where you're able to fuck around, because that was the point. Like, nobody... At least us, we didn't want to play simulated fucking basketball. That's so fucking boring. It's so boring because you miss your percentage of shots is like 60%. Can you imagine making 60% it's so fucking boring. Anyway, so we're like, you know what I've never done? Like, I've never got a modern NBA game and modded the shit out of it because I never gave a shit before. So we got together. And then I found some mods, and now it's I got to tell you guys, people that normally don't play games like that would love the shit out of it, because if you're just fucking dunking all the time, stealing all the time, fucking turning off all the rules and shit, it's a great fucking experience. It's a great experience. Like when you just like completely turn it into not basketball.
You just took the game and fucking stripped it and gutted it, and you're playing something completely different.
Fucking charging motherfuckers and knocking them over, and refs are just standing around. Motherfucker, if you don't steal the ball, you can just fucking press like F4 or something, and then the shot clock will just run out, and then all of a sudden...
What are you playing then? You're playing fucking Space Jam, dude.
It's just fucking nonsense, Derek. You've just created chaos.
It's so funny. Dude, it's the funniest thing to see the coach on the opposing side so angry. But like they're doing nothing because you're cheating so bad. and he's like animated, like so disappointed and mad, and like, but nothing happens. So then like the score is like fucking 300 to like 12.
Like no one calls it.
No,
Lord Shaxx doesn't come in and calls the fucking game.
Lord Shaxx is like, that's enough. I'm calling this one.
I've seen enough. I'm calling this one. And
the cool thing about just real quick, I just want to say the on PC 2K doesn't give a fuck about PC at all. So there's people that cheat on PvP. Like, I don't play PvP, but they don't care about any of it because you have to be online to play, like in any type of PvE or anything like that. If you're doing like career mode, and so it's cool because you don't get kicked off for like cheating. Just so I'm saying like I don't do PvP, so I'm not one of those people. But when you're doing the career mode and just playing in the fucking NBA, you just fucking get Rookie of the Year, MVP, fucking every single thing in the first fucking year. I'm telling you, it's fun.
Did you see the thing from the new NBA 2K game with fucking Jake from State Farm?
Yes, I saw it, and I responded to you because I'm genuinely serious, man. This is not the most. This is like the least egregious thing.
Yeah.
In the game, you will do interviews, and the rep of your sponsorship, for example, Beats, the rep will approach you and say, "Hey, do this interview. We need you to talk about the ANC, or the noise cancellation or whatever. We need you to talk, insert it in, and you need to fucking promote a product in the interview, in the game. It's literally promoting Beats and how they work. And they want you to answer the question in a way to sneak it in your interview." And I'm like, this is so fucking disgusting.
I know.
Like, there's just, it's the one that you like. Explain the one that you fucking on the new one.
Yeah.
Explain that one.
Did you see this, Sweeney, or are you watching it right now? Look, I think he's watching it right now. He's got like a really bewildered face. So for those of you who don't know,
what
there's a scene in the new NBA 2K game where you are walking around a mall or whatever, and then you come across none other than Jake from State Farm. And you just have a conversation. It's weird too because it's written in a very authentic way. Like it's actually like one of the most believable conversations I've ever heard. Like if Jake from State Farm for whatever reason was talking to you, and you were indeed a basketball player, I do think that's how the conversation would carry out. But it's such a jarring thing to see because Jake is rendered so well, and the player character looks like a fucking homunculus. Like he looks like
looks like a black creature, a vile black creature.
He looks like a skinwalker. Like he doesn't look real. But then Jake from Jake Farm.
Jake from Jake Farm. Vile black creature.
They have a Jake Farm for all the
Jake Farm now. He's gonna take over, dude.
Yeah, it's just gonna be all from Jake.
Bro,
it's just such a weird
really
thing.
Good. It's actually really good dialogue. What makes it disgusting. It's like very like the best writer in the building was like, "Yo, dude, take some time off. When you come back, you gotta write the lines from Jake from State Farm meeting Kareem. All right, please, seriously, it has to be good."
So I will say this about some of the 2Ks because I've actually, you can find like some good codes, Steam codes for like I think I got NBA 2K20 for like $8, and some of the dialogue, like doing interviews and stuff, you can tell what they do is just like they do a bunch of them, but it's like, here's the general idea. Don't read a script. Here's the general idea. Say something like this. So it comes off really authentic. Sometimes they're stuttering and shit, which I usually feel like is missing from most dialogue of anything, whether it's a movie or video game. And I'm like, nobody stutters. That's not real. Everyone fucking stutters when they talk, whether it's or like they repeat to make it an authentic conversation. But usually everybody's lines are delivered so perfectly. I'm like, that's not real. So it kind of takes me out of it.
That was one of the big things that I think set Family Guy apart, like early on, like because Family Guy used to have all these like really like stuttery lines like delivered by like the main cast. It's like, oh shit, I've never seen that in like a cartoon before.
You're 100% right. I think about a lot of some of my favorite quotes from that is because of a stutter. It's like you're about to say does it, but you kind of does it, or like you kind of like, because it's the way that I'm talking right now. It's I'm not doing this on purpose. It's just what people do, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so I love when I hear that stuff, and it's completely different from their shit back in the day. Because if you guys, I don't know if I mentioned this before. Look up NBA 2K15's fucking dialogue. Holy shit. Because you know these basketball niggas, they can't fucking read. They can't read. You know, they played well and then they probably cheated through college if they went to college. And it's the funniest shit ever. It's like, how the fuck? It's worse than Ronda Rousey in MK11. Let's just put it that way. It's worse than that. And if you remember how bad.
She's in Mortal Kombat 11?
Yeah, and she's Sonya,
she's not.
and it's
Sonya. Okay, I was like, it's straight up She don't belong there. I thought it was a straight up Ronda Rousey. I was like, she don't belong there. She doesn't belong in that
no,
game.
Oh, no. She's voicing fucking Sonya.
I'm talking about the character. Yeah, I get it. Because that would be
so
crazy.
Bad. I hate it, man. if Ronda Rousey was just in the Mortal Kombat universe, that would have fucking probably just tanked the game altogether.
I'd be like, look, she's an impressive female fighter, but she's not fighting Scorpion. If she beats Scorpion, I'm gonna be furious.
So you've been fucking with NBA. Sweeney,
yeah, I was fucking with
you've
NBA.
been fucking with just Destiny primarily, I guess.
Destiny.
Both you were just Destiny, right?
I'm playing some of it. Like I'm playing
Magic the Gathering. I started playing a lot of Magic the Gathering recently.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like a lot.
I've been fucking around with Deathloop a little bit. This he asked like what have you been playing in August, but this is a bit of an old conversation obviously because we missed a bunch of episodes, so I'm just going to extend it to just generally what we've been playing as of right now.
Okay.
Deathloop I just kind of started. I don't really know how I feel about it yet. It's good, but I also don't know if I'm grasping it entirely. It's a very weird game. It's a lot more complicated than I thought it would be. But that and Psychonauts 2.
Okay. I finished Psychonauts 2. Fucking phenomenal
Which
video
is
game.
a phenomenal video. Like I had no idea it was going to be even close to that good when I started
it might get game of the year. I think it's probably going to get game of the year.
It might be mine so far. Like I'm genuinely like shocked at how smart that game is and how like varied it is and how it reminded me of like the best parts of like PlayStation 2 platformers without feeling dated. And it was like, it's really fucking good. Like I'm like, obviously everybody knows I'm a massive Halo fan, right? Like I think Halo Infinite's going to be great. I know that because I've played it and I think it's just going to be very, very good. There are a couple of beta tests coming up really soon that I'm really excited for.
You got the invite for them already, right? Because I got mine.
Yeah, I got it. We should stream it.
My invite. Yeah, we should.
But there is no chance in hell, in my opinion. I'm not done with Psychonauts yet. As excited as I am for Halo, like there's no way Halo Infinite's going to be a better game than Psychonauts 2. Like I just don't believe that.
Yeah,
like,
it's not going to be.
It is
Psychonauts is a masterpiece.
It is just that fucking good. So those are the only things that I've really been. And I played a little bit like yesterday. I played a little bit of the Call of Duty Vanguard beta.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard horrible things. Is that why you played it, or
That's
what?
why I had to check it out. I had to be like, wow, I'm hearing a lot of bad things about this, more than usual, and I need to know why. And I played it, and it's funny because I'm playing it. I'm like, this is exactly the same as every other Call of Duty game that I've ever experienced. I don't know what the hell is like uniquely bad about this one, but it's whatever's bad about this one. Listen, I promise you, it's been bad about the entire series for a while. Like there's nothing particularly like
apparently it's really bad.
Like I was playing and I was like, what's the difference? Like, yeah, there's like yellow light. There's like yellow dot sights in World War II, which doesn't make any sense. But like
Sick.
Colored fucking sights.
It's so stupid.
We're using napalm. Fucking, I love it.
I would almost, you know what's sad about Call of Duty 2 is that like I was playing and I was like, every time I sit and play it, I'm like, I understand why people like, I understand, like it feels kind of good to move around. It feels good to shoot and all that. But there's nothing interesting going on at all, so I just don't understand why people play it over everything else that's so much more interesting. Like, if they did, like, a steampunk Call of Duty, I think I'd probably try it, like, authentically. Just because it'd be something different, dude.
But here's the problem, and like, because I agree with you 100%, and they understood that. And that's why they did fucking Infinite, and it got shat on so hard, even though the campaign's fucking good. The campaign is fun as fuck, dude. And this is the Infinite Warfare. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, Infinite Warfare.
Like, say people saw the trailer and they're like, "Oh, they're going to the fucking moon and all this shit," and they were so angry, and it got disliked to hell, and then it didn't sell as well. And then people that actually did play it, they're like, "Oh, this shit's actually pretty great. It's actually really fun. I like that it's not just the same thing every fucking year."
Yeah.
But because of that response, it was like, well, let's just give them what they want, the same fucking thing each time.
It's a sad thing. It's sad because like I think every like 5 years or so, I tell myself, all right, you know what? I'm going to check out the new Call of Duty and see if 5 years was enough time for it to change. And it never is. It's always the same shit. And like, dude, say what you will about like, you know, Halo games, you know, like 5 plays very specifically. 4 is not very good. Reach has its own problems. 3 and 2 are like very specific. 1 is like a weird thing. But none of those games play the same way. Like, they're all very distinct video games.
The thing of me is like every Halo is a Halo game.
Right.
And you can tell it's a Halo game, but they change parts of the way you interact with the world. Opposed to every Call of Duty game plays like exactly like other Call of Duty games.
Yeah.
Either you can just run on walls now, or you have guns that are really old and they reload stupidly. That's the only difference between the games.
There's very little
ever.
There's very little experimentation that happens, and it's like it just becomes very stale and boring to the point where it's like, look, I'd rather just, I don't know. I think this year is going to be the year where like Halo and Battlefield really like critically shine, because
I've seen everybody excited about Battlefield. Yeah,
because Battlefield looks awesome because they were just like, hey, it's a multiplayer game again. We're not even going to bother with a fucking single player campaign that nobody cares about that we've never really,
Yeah, and in those games, you're right. No one gives a fuck about the campaign.
Nobody gives a fuck. Like, I can't remember. Like, Battlefield 1 had an okay one, but like even that one was just like, I don't know. Like, do what you're good at. And Battlefield was like, yeah, what are we good at? We're good at like, destroying cities in the middle of like multiplayer battles, and it looks fun.
Dude, Battlefield 3, man. Battlefield 3 was when that shit. Everyone was like, oh, this is different. Like this is. This is not Call of Duty at all.
Or Battlefield
that's fucking
4
awesome.
with the Siege of Shanghai, I think it was. Like, look, Battlefield also doesn't change that much, but it changes enough. Where, like, because World War I, Battlefield 1 was way different than fucking 3. So like, I don't know. I played it and I didn't notice anything particularly egregious, but I'm sure I have a feeling that this year is going to be the year where like this game does not do as well as it historically has, which is, I
never understood the whole like I don't care about realistic shooting games, Like I don't want to play as my granddad, going to war, killing Vietnamese people, or fucking going killing Japanese people on the fucking Pacific Theater, or like shooting Nazis. Like I don't care. Like my family members did that. That's not cool. I can just ask them what it was like, and they'll give me like a really harrowing story about how they came back different. Like I don't care about that. Opposed to like in like Destiny and like fucking like Halo, like motherfucker, I got a plasma gun. I got a gun that freezes people and then blows them up. I got a bow and arrow that shoots lightning. Like that's more fun to me. I've never.
Because that's more of a game.
Got it.
I agree.
I
never got it.
I like
I respect
World War.
it.
Like I like World War II shooters. It's just like there hasn't been a good one in a very long time. Like the last one I can remember really was like Medal of Honor Rising Sun was the last, and that was like in like 2003. Like there's only so much you can do with it.
People like the idea of the world wars because they're very like campaign, like D&D journey-esque in like the most recent times like that. Because wars after that, were like either really embarrassing or like a lot of people didn't agree with them.
Yeah.
Or like we leave a bunch of shit in the Middle East that we should have took with us. Like that's what like modern wars have become.
World War II was the most like Saturday morning obvious like war.
That's
like
the bad
it's like
guy,
Yeah, it's like, oh, are you going to not want to kill the guy who wants to kill all Jews? Like it's just like it's such a clear-cut obvious like you can't not have fun with that premise because the good and bad guys are so obvious in that conflict.
Yeah, they're
even with
painted.
The traditional gray area of war, which there's always gray area of war, even with the U.S. in World War II, but it's nowhere near the way it is like with like Korea
guys,
or Vietnam or even Afghanistan and Iraq. So I understand why it's fun to explore from a gameplay perspective because it is also like cool sometimes to see like.
It's an epic, It feels like an epic in modern times.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can describe it, It feels like this is America's war, and at that moment, America was like one solid unit, unless you were black. But like it was one super solid unit of like people like we're going there and we're going to fucking stop the bad guys. But for me, it's like I just haven't ever given a fuck about that.
I understand.
It's so already... It's like, why would modern history entice me? I can get a gun and I can go shoot a gun. You know, I can't pick up a bow and arrow and then knock someone off their horse. I can't do that. You know, like, so that seems more fun to me because that seems, or I can't pick up a fucking aberration sword and like cast wormholes out my fucking hands. You know, like that shit is not stuff I can do. That's why that's always seemed more fun to me. That's why I'm very over. What are you looking at me like that? You guys looking at me like that for? I'm a person. I can't do that.
You froze.
Yeah, I agree, man. That was really insightful. Everything you said right there was really good.
Fucking hell. Internet on pussy water right now.
But yeah.
Man, but I totally hear you, man. It's the same way, like I said, I would never want to play a regular basketball game. Simulated basketball is fucking stupid, but playing basketball in an and just doing wild shit is fucking fun. Same with, like, say, I do like documentaries and I love history. But I also don't need to just simulate war. I don't need that either. I like the idea of some weird shit happening. Like fucking aliens during World War II would be fucking crazy. Like I would love, you know, when people do stuff like that, like reimagine shit.
Yeah. Well, like, well, you're talking about alternate history, which is exactly what Wolfenstein does. And it's exactly what
I was going to mention that earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why Wolfenstein is a lot more engaging than Call of Duty, because it's just like, whoa, the Nazis won World War II. And like, how does it like that look? That's cool. That's a cool premise. Like if you can explore that and like just kill Hitler. You know, that's fun. It's never not fun to kill Hitler. Like it's such a clear, like, obviously, like,
I love Hitler as the final boss of like anything.
Cut that. Always, I love Hitler. Cut that. I love Hitler.
That's what, dude. I was so no. Shut the fuck up. No. I was so disappointed with Kung Fury because Hitler. I was hoping Hitler was actually a kung fu genius. And there was actually going to be a real showdown, but he was a fraud, and it pissed me off because I'm like, I just want like, I wanted like, oh, here's in this fucking crazy ass universe, Hitler is just this fucking genius, somehow just learned to be the absolute best and garner a fucking following because he's such a kung fu genius. But you know, it was just then it became almost kind of real in a sense that, oh, he's a fraud, and he just convinced all these people that he wasn't. I'm like, it's fucking
alternate
gay.
History is just
stupid.
Alternate history is just fun in general, where it's like, I think that's why also Fallout is so successful, because like Fallout, I don't think Fallout would be nearly as cool if it was just like nukes went off in the 50s and you just happen to survive it and you're just wandering around like the actual 50s after, and like I don't think that's nearly as interesting. But the fact that it's like this weird kind of alternate future where like, you know, microchip was never made, and like
that's what it was. That never happened. Never been.
Yeah, and so you have all this like high tech machinery through like Steam and all these like other like means. So you have all these like weird robots and how that affected like architecture and like AI and design and shit. So you get to live in this weird like retro future. I think is the word, right? Like retro future, where like it's like the 50s like Art Deco style, but you have like sci-fi shit.
Yeah, that's either steampunk or neo.
Yeah, somebody in the comments will tell us, but like that's always been way more cool to me. But now we've spent a lot of time fucking on talking shit about
on that one fucking. Hey, we still got like an hour.
Yeah, it's true. Let's.
I am a gamer. I do love talking about games and gamer-based things, like bathwater.
In the last episode that Derek and I did together, somebody asked a question that we couldn't answer because it was for Sweeney, and somebody asked it again. So we're gonna just throw it over to you. I am the Grassman Road, and he says, what's up shorter than Napoleon, still shorter than Napoleon, and the Burger King of Angmar? Are you excited for the new Dune remake? Personally, I'm excited for the sandworms to be scary and not look like Muppets. Derek and I don't know anything about Dune, so we were just sort of like, I don't got no idea, but...
So, like, Dune is, so he'll say he didn't, but Dune takes a lot of similar. Dune is very similar to Star Wars. A lot of people think that part of the idea of the Jedi and the use of the Force was taken from Dune and used by Lucas in Star Wars, which I believe, but he definitely did his own work with it. But a lot of it is similar. There's similarities there that Lucas will probably never tell the truth about.
How old is Dune? Like Dune the first like Dune?
45 years old? 50 years old? I think it's like 70s.
are you excited about it? Like,
I'm ecstatic about it. I love the cast. I'm really happy they have a actual young man playing Paul Atreides, because the last time a guy that was older than me currently was supposed to be playing a 16-year-old boy. That is
that's cool.
That is not the case. I really
there's a lot of people in that fucking movie, right? A lot of A-list actors.
Zendaya, Oscar Isaac, Timothy Chalamet, what's his name? The guy from the Goonies. I forgot
Drago.
his name. Josh Brolin, Jason Momoa. Josh Brolin. Fucking there's a bunch. It's just Dave Bautista's in it too. Skarsgård's father's in it. Like, it's a really, really huge. I think it's gonna fill the void that we had with Star Wars, where Star Wars is so dog shit. But we're gonna have Dune, and Dune's gonna be really great. And we're gonna be like, okay, this science fiction world is cool. Let me go into this one. But it's one of the best sci-fi novels I've read in my life. It's like up there with like the fucking Fellowship books. It's really, 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 really fucking good. Like, I love Dune.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird that I personally haven't had that many recommendations for it when it's praised so highly. I don't know.
Are you ever into because you don't hate Star Wars. You like Star Wars. You're not like a big fan of it.
No, I'm not a fucking like, I've always just been casual.
You're more into aliens. That's why. That's the thing. You're more into like sci-fi when it involves aliens. This is more or less futuristic science.
It's actually kind of the opposite, where my favorite sci-fi shit is Battlestar Galactica, where it's just about fucking humans creating fucking these, Cylons, and then I'm fucking them in the ass.
But Battlestar is inherently, like, it's definitely alienish. Because there's a bunch of alien race, because of the whole, like, the bird-ass people. I don't know what they're called.
There's alien races in all these things, though.
The people that they got the Stargates from, no, not Battlestar. They got people that got the Battlestar.
You're probably thinking of Stargate. I'm talking about BSG, where it's just humans and fucking just AI, essentially. That's all it is.
It's pretty cool.
And military-esque, like I like military
Dune
bullshit.
A lot then. Dune is
I bet I would.
You should read it, man.
I'm just saying that, like, it's weird that the amount of shit that's been recommended to me, I can't say that anybody has actually been like, you need to go read this shit, you need to go watch this, like, about Dune, which is, I feel it's weird, because anytime I do hear somebody talk about it, they're like, oh yeah, shit's really good. Like,
yeah, I haven't heard a negative word about Dune ever. By the way, it's 1965.
Yeah.
So it's
pretty older than I thought. It's older than Star Wars by a bit. Yeah. And it was very, very popular, a very, very popular story. I first heard about it from my uncle, because my uncle was like a huge pothead, and he was into a bunch of weird shit when I was younger. Yeah. And he would always make jokes about the spice. And I'm like, is he talking about weed? He was talking about weed, but the spice is a material in the world that everyone is vying for, and the planet that the main character and his family live on. Also, it's like it has ancient like Roman backing, because of the fact of the names of people. Like, the main character's last name is Atreides, which is very much so ancient, like European history. Like, the main families still exist, the older like royalty, and they kind of spread throughout, and then they get like planet. It's wild. There's like fucking gigantic worms that live under the planet that are like this. They have like maws the size of like city blocks. I would say, give it a listen to the audiobook.
Yeah,
I've something I can do.
Dune is one of those things where it's like, I know I'd like it, but I've just never gotten around to it. Like, it's very weird. Because really cool. Even just like the art style of like the books that I'm seeing,
beautiful.
It reminds me a lot of early like Bungie, like back when they were making Mac stuff, when they were making fucking Marathon and shit. I was like, this looks probably a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of inspiration came from Dune, but
one of their game. What's their the game where you're on like the sand dinosaurs with that sword?
Myth
is definitely based off Dune.
Yeah, I could see that. But yeah. So Sweeney's excited about Dune, and I'm looking forward to seeing, I don't know, maybe seeing a movie of it will get me like invested. And if it sucks, then like I could be like, yeah, I'll just go to the books that are better. But like everybody I know who's excited about it seems to be pretty confident that it's going to be great. So we'll see.
Yeah, the type of shit that you saw with the people, the critics were like fucking jizzing over it. I was like, oh right,
dude, the trailer looks insane, man. If you guys haven't watched the trailers,
I haven't seen the trailer.
I saw the trailer. I saw it on Instagram. Man. Yeah. We'll see.
You guys are going to like it, trust me. If you guys don't like it, you're fucking stupid and dumb, and you're dumb.
I guarantee it.
You're dumb and stupid and dumb. All right. 5 Nights at Epstein's wrote in. Simple question.
I like that. I like that name.
Simple question.
Oh my God,
what happened?
I just blew snot out of my nose, man. Those two good.
I saw that. It's a simple question. Most fun. What's the most fun you've had with glitches and exploits in games? Aside from completely breaking the sacred game of basketball for your own sick amusement.
For me, it's easy.
I'm telling you, man. There's just something about it. Like imagine just crushing a team on their home court. And like everyone's still there, like no one's saying anything about how fucking unfair it is. It's hilarious. Like I'm telling you, if you like to get into a world, right, into a game and really immerse, just get into it, and you start putting yourself there and imagining yourself being in that situation, it just becomes so fucking funny. I mean, I guess it's like any type of role playing. It's literally I'm like role playing in the fucking NBA, the 2K universe.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Besides that, I mean, I don't know. You guys got anything on top of your heads?
Yeah, I mean,
Skyrim.
Skyrim is obvious.
Easy.
That's.
I love playing Skyrim when your horse starts flying around. You gotta try to jump off your horse and not die. So it's just like your horse is like. There was one time I flew all across the world. I got on my horse in Riften and I flew around. It was not my control, and I got off of it and I was on top of the Dawn Guard, and I was just like, "This is fucking ballistic." And then if you bump into things, you kill it. So I bumped into I mistakenly bumped into a dragon in the air, and the dragon fell out the sky. And I was like, wow, this is fucking ridiculous.
I've been getting an itch to play Skyrim again for some reason. I get this itch every now and again to just like jump back into Skyrim. It's
because you're subliminally hearing people mention it. I'm telling you, man, because I feel the exact same way. I was actually just reviewing some captured footage I have of Skyrim because I was going to put something on Instagram saying, oh, I miss streaming, and because I haven't streamed in fucking months. And but then I was like, oh, fuck, most of my footage is like filled with companions that are naked. So I'm like, I just want to put that on there. It's just because that's my favorite thing to do in video games. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but if I can mod it, if it's available, like people have to be naked in the setting where they're not supposed to be, because that's what makes it funny, right? Just people, you're like on a serious mission, you're like butt ass naked, or you're just wearing boots and a helmet or something.
Yeah,
and that's it.
I hate it. My friends would do the cheats where everybody would give all the girls big asses and tits, and they'd be wearing lingerie, like barely covering any of their body. And I'm like, bro, how do you play the game like this? And he's like, man, this is the best way to play the game.
It's fucking great, dude. like your character, like say in fucking Dragon Age. That's my favorite. Like, I'll just run with an all-female crew, right? I have my fucking Grey Warden, who's wearing some Templar armor, but he's fucking fully erected and shit. All the chicks are all naked with their tits all flopping out and stuff, and the dog's there because I can mod him. He's not a part of the 4 squad. You can just have the dog there, the ward dog. It's beautiful. It's like, here's my fucking dog. Got fucking all these hot bitches surrounding me and stuff, and we're doing important shit.
And my dick's hard as
shit. We're killing this one dude, and in a very serious scene and stuff. It's like very like, oh my god, intense, and everyone's all naked. It's so fucking good, man.
His stomach is bruised from sprinting with a fucking just constantly slapping against his own fucking abs.
His fucking abs are fucking bright red because his dick is just fucking slapping him, bro.
Dude, Resident Evil 2, man, is impressive. The graphics are really good, so the fucking nude mods in that, it's like, god damn, this is an old person would be tricked. Like, what fucking movie is this? Where the chicks just running around fucking
an old person would be tricked.
What fucking film is this? He watched Citizen Kane and then he immediately got jumped to a point where he's seeing Resident Evil fucking 2 nude mods, and he's like, they're doing this now?
They're humans. They're humans, I promise. They're humans.
What's he doing?
It's good, man.
I don't know. I think of like I don't know. I can't say that I've done too many. Like, I'm not that much into that side of things, but Halo 2 is like undefeated to me in just how broken that game is and how much nonsense you can do in it. Like there's this specific weapon in on top of a bridge that you're not supposed to get to. You're not supposed to have a flying vehicle in that level, but if you like lure a Banshee down a tunnel and like hijack it right when the loading screen happens, you can take it and fly to the top of this bridge, and it gives you this weapon that destroys fucking everything. And it wasn't like an Easter egg. It wasn't supposed to be there. It was just like the weapon
Someone
needed
just
to
left
be
it there in the code?
It just needed to be in the level so that it could load into the thing that uses it. Like that's because like Halo 2's engine was like it was built on like popsicle sticks. So you just have access to this immense amount of power that doesn't make sense. You can just blast through cutscenes. It makes no sense. And just like all sorts of it, like just like sword canceling your way out of maps and shit in like multiplayer. Like there's a map with like a big fan on it, and so you could just like drive a tank into the fan and like watch it spin out of control. Just shit like that just like fucks with the physics. I spent a lot of time. I think most of my time in Halo 2 was spent like in custom games with like friends trying to break it. But good times.
That's cool. That's cool.
Good times.
Good old.
We already James Passmore.
That's hot.
James Passmore, you wrote in a question about KOTOR that we already addressed. Sorry, we got a bit ahead of ourselves, but
nigga.
we appreciate you, James.
Yeah, nigga.
You sly.
Yeah, James. Yeah, James.
Yeah,
Nigga.
James.
Yeah, bitch. You hear me?
You hear me? It's a podcast. You hear me? That's the
no
only
listening.
thing.
You hear me?
You hear me, you fucking fool.
You hear that sound? That's me slapping my dick against your head, James.
That's terrible. I'm glad I can't hear that right now.
Yeah, I'm glad
I can't hear it right now.
Kyle,
but they can, so that's good.
Hugger Derek, the movie theater manager, wrote in. Says, hey there.
Oh, my nigga.
Yeah, hey there, you peepee peeps. What's the worst euphemism you've heard for semen? I'm partial to cummy wummies myself. Love you, broskies.
Cumbles.
That's so like...
Cumbles.
Cumbles.
Cumbleweeds.
Oh, my cumbles. My cumbles are coming out. Or cummies.
Did you say egregious?
Egregious, yeah.
What's the most... Okay. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I've heard one that like really... I think splooge. Is the one that like that sounds fucking gross.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't sound
or
like
dick snot or something like that, or cock snot. Like I've heard cock snot, and I'm like, whoa, what?
I don't like. I'm not a fan of
so
baby batter. That to me is like a really.
Batter.
That to me is a really egregious.
I kind of like it. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
understand the premise, but I just don't think babies should be included. You know?
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like having.
This isn't-
I like it. Just like
This isn't Subway
you got baby
headquarters.
batter on the
you know?
brains. That was from There's Something About Mary. Right before he jacks off, when Woogie's telling him to go jack off before the date, and then he gets it on his ear. You remember that?
What the hell are you saying?
I remember that.
There's Something About Mary.
I don't think I've ever seen
You've
it.
never seen that fucking movie? You've never seen There's Something About Mary with fucking Ben Stiller
We've
and
been over this. I haven't seen anything.
Oh yeah.
Chris has seen 5
Sorry. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
I've seen
two and a half movies.
I've seen Spider-Man. I've seen Davy and Goliath, and that's it. That's my entire cinematic knowledge.
Chris has seen 6-7 movies max.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Forgive me, I forgot about
It's
that.
just Spider-Man, Goodfellas, and Toy Story, and that's me.
Yeah,
that's it, and that's how you dictate what's a good film and what's not a good.
Yeah,
film.
this reminds me least
those
of
3 films. That's insane.
This reminds me. This doesn't remind me of Goodfellas enough. And it's like Chris. It's fucking. It's Wreck-It Ralph.
It's a bad movie.
What?
What?
No,
Wreck-It Ralph?
Chris's mentality. This is remind me of Goodfellas, Spider-Man 1, 2, or 3, or Wreck-It Ralph. Terrible film. And it's like, bro, it's a Citizen Kane, dude. You got to sit down and absorb the film. And it's like, nah, fuck you. You don't get it.
Okay. Well, since we've kind of addressed sports a little bit, we've got one sports question that I think is kind of fun. That I thought we'd.
Okay, go ahead.
This guy's name is annoying, but I'm gonna read all of it just so I never have to read it again. When you have, and this is because the train for the time you can have is because the reason and you. Did you get that? That's his name. You're a piece of shit. But he wrote in, hey there, fellow detriments to society. Maybe you can settle a stupid argument between me and some friends. I had a long argument about whether or not weightlifting should be considered a sport. My stance is that a sport is a physically active game with rules, and therefore it's not a sport. Their stance is it is a sport because any athletic competition is. Who is right?
It's not a sport. It's an athletic competition, but it's not a sport.
No, it definitely can be a sport. It depends on what type of.
It can be
are you just
sporting.
picturing?
It can be sporting, but it's not.
Are you just picturing fucking weight benching? Let me know weight benching. What the fuck am I saying? Bench pressing? Like what is that guy picturing? Because you can make anything a sport as long as you make rules in it and there's a goal. Like
yes,
how do you?
Derek, that's true. But he's asking if the art of bodybuilding is a sport. It is not a sport.
Wait, did he say bodybuilding specifically?
So let me
read that again for me.
Hold on. I won't read all of it again, but where is?
Yeah, just the part or just that part, because
I
want to make sure I'm understanding.
We had a long argument about whether or not weightlifting should be considered a sport.
No, weightlifting.
Yeah, so weightlifting
it's
by
an
itself.
Art. It's more of an art or an act. It's not a sport. There's no rules in weightlifting exactly. There's no rules. There's no points. You can't exactly. You can outbench somebody, which I guess is like we're making a game of like who's gonna bench the most.
Yeah,
but it's not. I wouldn't say.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, is he talking about like just the random, the arbitrary act of lifting weights?
Yeah.
Or is he referring to something that already exists and that is considered a sport? Like the like competitions that they do in like certain leagues and certain things that you can join.
Let's say that we're talking about competitive weightlifting.
Yeah.
Well, that's competitive.
And should that be considered a sport?
That's a sport at that moment because it's competitive by nature. It's a sport.
Well, I mean, if fucking curling is a sport, why the fuck can't weightlifting be a sport?
I understand that, but I'm talking about in its most because curling has a whole point system and there's rules and you can win a game of curling, But if I'm if I'm just at the gym and I'm just pumping iron out, I'm not playing a sport. I'm doing something. I'm doing an action. It's not a sport.
Yeah, but so is wrestling until you add points to it.
But wrestling, you can beat someone in wrestling.
So you beat someone in weight by lifting more weights than them.
But that's not the natural. Like, you don't weight lift against people in its most natural state. You just don't. In most natural weightlifting, you just lift weights. It's not I consider weightlifting more of an art form. More of an art form or bodybuilding. I consider bodybuilding an art form. I don't consider it.
Well, it's really just the purpose of getting fucking strong, right? I understand what you're saying, but I feel like
it can be sport. You can add rules to it and make it sporting, but it's not a sport. Like you're not gonna say, "Oh, you can twist it." Yeah,
you can twist it into a sport if you so choose, but it's not
the same way of driving a car. NASCAR wouldn't be a sport just by fucking driving. But then you give it rules, right?
Yes.
There you go.
And I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
There you go. That's exactly the right answer.
Your friends are fucking stupid. They don't understand fucking context. Dickhead, dumb motherfuckers. Stupid.
Yeah, weightlifting. If somebody's genuinely hold on. Let me just read this again to make sure, or go through it again, because he said, okay. My stance is that a sport is a physically active game with rules, and their stance is that a sport is any athletic competition.
That's not true.
I don't know if any athletic competition is a sport, but I do think you could twist things into being, more or less that's it. The NASCAR example is actually a great one.
Me jumping and us both jumping and seeing who jumps higher. It's not a sport. There's competition in that. And if we were given rules on how he would land, how he would take off from the jump and stuff like that, the more sporting factors we add to it would eventually turn it into a sport. In a sense, but it's not.
Yeah,
a
so
sport
technically, so technically, weightlifting is not a sport because it hasn't been designated as such. It hasn't been classified as such. There's weightlifting competitions, but I don't think there is. I mean, there are organizations of weightlifters and stuff like that, but imagine how many sports there actually are, but they're just all underground. Like they're not. They're a sport when they're on fucking when people know about it. I feel
ESPN
like when enough people kind of know about it, they're like, this is considered a fucking bona fide sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I bet we could make a sport right now. You know what I mean? If we just came up with rules and shit and be like, all right, this is a sport. Can we do that? Like, where's the line fucking stop?
One of our friends when we were younger, we were gonna make a documentary about competitive masturbating.
Yeah, that would be a sport. Why wouldn't competitive cooking also be a sport? That's pretty physically demanding.
Well, it's not a fair sport.
Fuck yeah, it is, dude.
Competitive cooking? Well, it's not. No, I'm not even gonna go into that realm. You're right. That's true. It would.
Gordon Ramsay is not an athlete, but by the metric of like, ooh, competition is equals sport. Is like he might as well be.
Like he's physical. True. He fucking shoves the fucking cooks and stuff and slaps the women. Like those are the parts that don't make it on the TV.
You fed me water from the tap, you donkey. Like just all these like
fucking idiot. And he fucking comes.
You whore cunt.
He always smacks down so it hurts more. He always hits down. He makes people get on their knees and he fucking slaps them down.
You know what I seen him do one time? Fucking this chick, she fucking was cooking her patty, right? Her burger patty. And he wanted it medium rare, and he was like, he fucking sliced it open. He said it was raw, and he squeezed the juices on her fucking eyes, dude. And that shit was still hot.
That's not
and she's
true.
Blind now. She's fucking blind now.
She's
dude.
blind now. She's blind and dead also.
Separate reasons. He didn't kill her, but he did make her blind. though. That was him.
Yeah.
It was good. It was on the first Hell's Kitchen. It was really good.
The very first episode.
Could you imagine? That's how it starts. That's the fucking intro. And you're like, yo, where is this shit gonna go?
It would be my favorite show. It would be my favorite fucking show ever.
That shit's worse than fucking Game of Thrones, man. It's like, yo, what's gonna happen next? Because this bitch is blind.
These potatoes are too dry. And then he just puts their fucking head on the pan. And just sears them and shit, and he adds butter, so it like really fucking.
He sears it down to the point that he's touching the bottom of the pan because he flattened their fucking head so much.
Yo, I unironically love those reality shows because like the way that they milk suspense out of like such a simple like because they always do that thing where it's like there's one of you is up for elimination, Melissa, you are safe, and then like it's like 3 seconds, and then he goes. From continuing in this competition, go home. And then it's like 3 seconds later, it's like, because we're flying you back to the hotel in a private jet to continue in this and it's like, holy fuck, dude, just like, tell me I'm out or not.
Donna literally did that. That was fucking hilarious.
It really is like, he's just sauteing these people's like, brains like in real time.
He's a chef, bro. That's what he does.
Yeah,
that's fucked up. That's so cruel. I feel like that shit should like you shouldn't be able to do that. It's so fucking sad.
It is really fucking cruel because some of these people like cry. They're like, I need to be here or else my fucking life is useless.
Oh, you crying, you little bitch? You fucking crying, you little fucking baby? I needed this for my kid. He has cancer. I don't give a fuck about your cancer, kid. Get the fuck out of my kitchen right now. And he fucking throws a butcher knife in her back.
Where were those tears earlier? How could it help with that dry chicken, idiot? Imbecile.
You fucking daft cunt. He gets a fucking shotgun, blows his own head off, dude. What is this? What the fuck am I in? It tastes like cow dick. Blow!
He kills himself
for dramatic effect, just to get to the heart of this person, because deep down he believes they're better than that, and he just wants to show them.
He's willing to sacrifice his fucking think tank for that moment, bro.
And that's episode 2. That's episode 2.
He's making people. It's got like 10 seasons, and he dies in the second episode.
You have no clue how it's going. The next episode, he comes back and his head is taped together, but you can see like the cracks, and he's like, "Yesterday I may have got a bit heated, but today we go on."
It's simply the passion I have for all of you here. You're better than what I saw yesterday. Do better today. And he's like his like face is like just not.
His eyes just shifts the
you know what it is. His jaws are moving, but like his lips aren't attached really. So it's his lips aren't moving, but you can see him like fully like emoting underneath them. He's like a skinwalker.
Oh my god!
The top of his head is empty like a fucking teapot. and you can see inside of it.
And it just slowly evolves over the course of the show, and it becomes this like really sad, like Phantom of the Opera style, like fucking.
I actually believe this, man, because have you seen his face like up close? Like there's like
wrath.
Grooves in it that I think is from fucking plastic surgery to reconstruct his blown off head. Because I've never seen that many grooves in someone's face before. Like, like it's a lot.
His face looks like a wall in New York City, where it's like a bunch of like little divots, that you can feel around. Like if you're a blind person, you're trying to get home, you can feel around to see like, there's the wall on 34th in Maine. And you can keep going back home.
Like the ceilings in an old apartment building.
Yeah, like the fucking ceilings in my fucking apartment.
Yeah.
Quit touching my face, fucking you blind bitch.
Right. You blind bitch, you bloody blind bitch.
Well, since we are clearly the most qualified to discuss this, let's go on to some human rights questions.
Oh, let's
go. Perfect.
Oh my God. Spooty Boy wrote in. He says, "Hello and welcome back to Sentience." I'm not doing that. My question for you is: do imaginary friends from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends have rights? They're entirely sentient and fully functional, despite being separated from their creator. Yet they are literally sold for profit.
They aren't sold for profit, though.
Yeah, it's a Foster's Home. They're adopted. Like he's wrong, but.
Like you gotta.
Do they have rights if they're
time out? Bud, you see when you ask a question, right? If you want a good answer, you gotta understand what you're asking. They're not sold for profit. They're foster kids. So there's legal documentation of them existing. That means by default, they deserve human rights or imaginary friend rights. That's more detail people could go into once they like break down barrier 1, but they deserve rights because there's legal documentation of them. Yeah. Like even animals deserve rights, even though they're animals. Like I want to kick every cat hard when I see them, but I can't because cats have rights.
Oh my God.
Cats have rights.
Hard, dude. I want to kick them hard.
Well,
oh my God, you're a fucking monster, son.
Well, what about this? Limp Sniggins wrote, and he says, Hey all. Does Inspector Gadget or RoboCop, if you're sad, deserve human rights? I've asked this to several people and gotten different answers each time. So far, it's like 70-30 split in favor of no.
What?
So 70% of people that this
what?
70% of people that this person talks to thinks that Mike what is his name? Broderick? What's his
Michael
fucking
Michael
It's not Michael, is it? Matthew Broderick.
Matthew
Doesn't deserve rights.
You talking to fucking idiots.
Well, after he killed somebody, like maybe he doesn't.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, he didn't do it on purpose.
That wasn't Inspector Gadget.
He did it on purpose.
That was Inspector. He's like, go Gadget killed this bitch. Like,
Go Gadget car crash. He died. But he didn't do it on purpose. Go Gadget car crash.
What does that mean? So does he become a car crash?
No, Go Gadget and a car comes
he's
out.
Just such an
shoots
asshole.
a car out himself. He opens his chest up and a car comes out, but it's definitely gonna crash. Like he can't change what's gonna happen.
No, I just think what actually happened, like what literally happened, was Matthew Broderick as himself before he crashed into him and said that. Like the biggest piece of shit ever.
He's in the car, and before it crashes, that piece of shit says "Go Gadget car crash," and he killed a woman.
That is so fucking dark.
Oh my God! Fucking sweating.
That's grisly, man. That's fucking grisly.
That's fucking intrepid, bro. That's terrible.
Go Gadget car crash.
And we'll never know if that actually happened or not. Because he'll never say.
Go Gadget car crash.
Imagine he said
and only one person survived.
He says it and he fucking winks at the camera.
It was before.
Oh, by the way,
it was before he got the role too, so it was like really out of character. Like,
no, it was. He was trying to kill somebody with a car to show he's actually really good with being a room mechanics. He was I can be anybody. I can kill somebody with a car if he want me.
He was like, I gotta get into the mind of Inspector Gadget. What would he do? He veers into a crowd.
and hopefully he was playing the fucking theme
in his car.
He fucking has that shit bumped to 11.
Can you imagine getting hit? Imagine getting hit in your car to a bass boosted Inspector Gadget theme.
Boom. This chick's fucking brains all splattered everywhere. That shit's still bumping. Go, Gadget, go. That'd be fucking great, dude.
Aftermath, just the cops arrive. The car is still there. Inspector Gadget ran away. The car is still there. And the cops arrive, and it's just Inspector Gadget. And the cops have to be like, the cops have to sit there and pretend for a minute. It's like, I wonder who did this.
Fucking Broderick's at it again.
Could it be
again? Oh my god!
How
did we get here? How did we get here?
So I think we've determined that everybody's right. No, he does not deserve human rights.
Oh my god!
That's it.
I haven't laughed that hard in so long. I'm tired. My eyes are droopy now. Oh
yeah, I'm pretty
fuck, dude.
Now let's move on. This shit's killing me. The fucking Broderick death. Let's
All right.
Let's see if we can get a more grounded question.
Gadget. Oh,
all right, let's talk about something a little bit less ridiculous.
Bro, that was magnificent.
None of the fun wrote in. He says, "Hello, Cretinous crew. Longtime patron, first time writing in. In Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, Peter develops odd wrist web sacks instead of creating web shooters. Now, given his age, high school or senior, I would think, how likely is it that he used the forbidden wussy for masturbating? If he did, would it be sexual assault if he then went on to web up bad guys? Please, I must know your thoughts on this."
I'm confused by what he said. I'm sorry.
So, like, if he used his like web slits to jerk off, presumably.
Oh, like he fucked his own web slinging things. Oh my god! I've never thought about that one time.
Look, so I didn't think too hard about this question. I just thought it was a really stupid one, so I could ask it.
Yeah.
But like, just the.
That's trash. That's a trash.
I've never thought of that. That has never crossed my mind one time
ever in my life, bro. I've been a fan of Spider-Man since I was unironically since I was like 4 or 5 years old. I've been like a very adamant fan, and I've never thought, wow, you think Spider-Man fucked his own wrists? I've thought. Look. And it's gonna sound crazy. I've thought about the fact that Jesus Christ might have fucked the holes in his hands.
Oh, yes.
Before I thought about the idea of Spider-Man fucking his own wrists. And the fact that you wrote in a question about that says ample about you, my friend. Please never change.
Well, I do want to say...
And he also called it a wussy, too, right?
Yeah, the wrist pussy or the web pussy, whatever you prefer.
Yo, some people just have never had sex, bro.
Yeah.
They've just never had a chance to do it.
First of all, I do want to say this obvious thing. If you hit somebody in the face, like with your hand, that's not sexual assault.
Exactly.
And you jerk off presumably with your hand. So like the answer to this is obviously no.
I've cummed in my hand and it hit people before. Like that's a thing, you know? That's
like
assault.
one right after the other, or what are you talking about?
Fucking nut in my hand and it slaps somebody.
That I think might cross the line.
No, it doesn't. It was nothing. It was no sexual intent at all. I just wanted to come and hit him.
I would kill you so hard.
Oh yes,
I would kill anybody.
You have to murder someone that does that to you.
That's so death, and I feel like the judge is like, I completely understand.
That's so death.
Like
he came in.
The imagining that happened to me is probably I think I would rather be fucking shot, dude. Honestly,
I would
like,
definitely
I think I would
rather be shot because one is not embarrassing. Imagine someone slapping you in the face with a cum fucking riddled hand, and then they gotta pop it off your face. There's a bunch of that cum on you.
How stupid is that though? That you would rather be shot, and it's genuine. It's genuine. I'd rather be shot than be slapped with cum. That's. Oh my god.
Yo, he slapped him with a fucking hand. His hand looks like he dipped it in glue. He just pops you one in the fucking face.
He gets home and peels it off his hands like he's in first grade after you just mess with the glue stick.
Yeah, with the glue stick. Oh, it's so fucking sick.
No, he's got to roll it off his hand like a fucking glove because it's got fucking hard. He comes into the trash. Then his mom is like, honey, you got to stop doing that. They're going to find where you live. They're going to find where you live, and they're going to come after all of us. You got to stop. You're also leaving your DNA on their face.
They're going to file a report if you keep coming in your own hands and hitting people, okay?
I've gotten
what kind of, like, what would the media, what would journalists call this criminal that keeps slapping people with cum? Like a serial offender.
The fat slapper.
Fat slapper?
The fat slapper. Yeah.
The fap slapper?
Yeah. Fapper the slapper?
Fapper the slapper.
No. Fap slapper's pretty good, but it needs to be, I think it needs to be more like sinister.
The cum hitter?
Sinister.
The cum puncher?
Cum puncher? That sounds like a fucking superhero.
I don't know.
Save us, cum puncher.
Well, maybe we can ask the audience for like possible names for this character. I like Fap Slapper.
Perfect.
I like that one.
Fap Slapper is good. It's good, but I just want something more like, I'm thinking like true crime shit. Like they always give them the Night Stalker,
the Nut Knocker,
the Nut Knocker,
the Nut Knocker,
the Creamer Cleaver. I don't know, like something that's just like where it just sounds gritty and like ooh spooky. They're trying to scare you, you know.
Cincinnati Creamer. It's just like, hey, there he goes.
So
he's on and on again, coming in his fucking hand. He can come instantly, he can come on demand. That's why it's his fucking power. He looks at his hand, comes in his hand and hits somebody.
That would be so impressive.
Instantly like
no
that.
jerk, no nothing.
That'd
just
be
like,
so impressive.
He's fucking placid.
He can come like I can cough, bro.
It's like a squid's. It's like a squid's defense mechanism. He just like gets spooked and he comes in his hand and slaps you.
That's so putrid.
That's so disgusting. He doesn't feel any.
Too.
He has no pleasure. He has no pleasure when he comes. He can just come whenever he needs to. Like when I can spit, he can come.
Oh my god, that's a nightmare. That's fucking hell, dude. That's hell.
No, that's a survivor right there. That's someone that's a liver.
I mean, that is peak evolution. I think that's peak evolution.
Yeah.
He can't get erect anymore.
Let's move on, dude.
He had to give up erections to be able to come whenever he wants.
We could do probably one more question, and then do our little outro, and then we're good. Let's see. Like Dead NCYD wrote in. He says, stumbled across this magnificent dumpster fire of a podcast over the weekend and have literally not stopped listening since. So here's a hypothetical. We're going to have ourselves a movie night. What are we eating, drinking? What are we watching? Chris, don't just say pizza. Sweeney, no hate, but I don't want to watch no cloynes. Keep up the great work, my dudes. Thanks for popping my Patreon cherry. Much love and respect. Thanks a lot,
bro. We appreciate
thank you.
Thanks
my
for coming
nigga.
on board. Yeah, man.
You can say nigga now to black people. Go do it.
All right. Try it. Go to LA and then you
call a random black man nigga with an R at the end and then see what happens.
Yeah.
What are we doing? We have a movie night. What are the three of us each bringing? Like what?
We're watching Goodfellas, definitely.
Goodfellas?
Yes.
Goodfellas is a solid movie. I don't know if it's a movie night movie though.
Okay, what's a good movie night movie?
I was thinking fucking Kung
Schindler's
Pao.
List.
Kung Pao, he's a really good one.
Kung Pao without a doubt.
That can work.
I
guess Schindler's List is like a close second.
Schindler's List?
Yeah, it's like a close second.
Kung Pao or what's another movie?
That's our movie night. Kung Pao, Schindler's List, and what?
What's another movie that we could watch?
What was that other one that we said?
What, Goodfellas?
Goodfellas?
That's a good balance.
Goodfellas, Kung Pao, and Schindler's List. Come to our movie night. Jesus Christ! What a shock! Kung Pao needs to be in the direct middle.
Yeah, to like
to counteract
to counteract those.
You know what's funny? I remember like our friend Paul invited in like college. I think it was like 2011 or 2012. This is when I first started like really hanging out with him. And he invited me and my girlfriend at the time and Jalen, who's another friend of ours, over to his house to have a movie night. And I was like, oh, cool. I've never done movie nights at Paul's. I've never been to Paul's. I'm going to check this place out. Why not? It should be fun. And we go into Paul's room, and he just puts Schindler's List on. And we watched the entirety of Schindler's List.
What?
And I just remember thinking, like, I mean, it's a good movie, but, like, this is very weird energy. Like, I expected, like Nacho Libre or, like, I don't know, fucking something, you know, like something a little bit more movie nighty, you know?
Yeah. Fun. That's
something a little lighter than fucking Schindler's List.
Schindler's List is just one of those movies that, like, I don't know if you could really watch that with a group of people and not have it be just like a kind of like a weird scenario.
I can't watch it anymore because fucking I don't see
fucking. You just don't see the big deal, you know?
What? No, that's, what? No, that is not what I was gonna say at all. Holy shit!
Oh shit!
No, what's that Irish actor's name? I forget his fucking name.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, Liam Neeson. Like, I don't see him in the same light anymore. So, like, all I'm gonna do is just think of stupid shit to say, like his Taken stuff or him being
racist.
What do they call him? Did they call him?
It's Qui-Gon.
They call him Raj Al Ghul or Raish.
Raish Al Ghul.
They call him Raish. They call him Raish. That's right. So. Yeah, like I can't do it anymore because it'll just be disrespectful. Because it's just gonna be just a bunch of lines throughout anytime I see him, and I'm like, I can't take this. I can't take it seriously anymore.
I thought that movie was gonna be a comedy, like a rom-com. When I first saw it, I swear to God, because it sounds like the name of a stupid. Because I didn't know what it was about at all.
Like Stickler or something.
I had no
Stickler
clue
from
it was
American
gonna
Pie.
be about
Schindler's List. Whoa.
I thought it was gonna be like a rom-com, and me and my girlfriend, we watched it at the time, and I was like, "This is not what I expected at all, at all." And she was just like, "It was a movie about the Holocaust," and I was like, yeah, I can see that now. I thought it was going to be a rom-com. I thought we were going to like watch this movie and then have sex eventually, not watch this movie and be sad.
And you guys still had sex, right?
No, I didn't.
You saw one of those fucking say it. Jews hiding in the porta potty or something, and you're like, oh man, that's hot. Like, let's go. Let's go right now.
I love the thought of you. I love the thought of you just like looking at this movie and thinking what you thought about it. Like just like oh. National Lampoon's Auschwitz.
It's just not like this, because Schindler doesn't exactly sound like it's like, oh, the Little Black Book or 50 First Dates. Oh, Schindler's List. It's like, oh, list of all Schindler's exes.
Yeah, like Schindler's like the guy. He's like the Schrader. He's the cool guy. He's the Ferris Bueller or something. He's
it's Schindler's List. A list of ex-girlfriends.
It's like his what?
All his ex-girlfriends, all his fucks for all time.
Yeah.
Not the story of poor Jewish people hiding for their lives with no color, you know?
Yeah. I thought Sophie's Choice was going to be a game show movie, so I understand.
And what made me upset is that, like, I was
Sophie's
like, why did you
Choice.
invite me over to watch this? I was so confused. Like, why'd she invite me over to watch this?
It is a weird thing to invite somebody over to watch, I will say.
Very weird.
We've never talked about, like...
The fact that both of us have that experience with separate people is a little amusing.
What confused me is that she wasn't Jewish, odd. And we never talked about, like, the egregiousness of the Holocaust. So I was like, where did this come from?
It's a good way to bring it up.
I guess.
By the way, how do you feel about, the whole Holocaust thing?
Could you imagine? That's the funniest thing for me, because, like, I can imagine, like my girlfriend is a pretty good, regular person, but I would love to, like, watch something with her and we finish and she was like, wow, that was really good. It's like, yeah, too bad we didn't kill all those like Japanese during the bombing, like something like that. You'd be like, excuse me?
There's a Seinfeld episode about that exact thing.
Really?
Is there?
There's a Seinfeld episode where he's dating.
Of course there is.
Where he's like he's getting accused of being an anti-dentist, like having prejudice against dentists because he like doesn't like the dentist. It's some bullshit. But then he's dating this woman who agrees with him, and at the end of it, he's like, dentist, who needs him? And he's like, yeah. Not to mention the blacks and the Jews. And then he just turns like, and then it ends. Then you never see her again.
To Jerry Seinfeld, the Jewiest Jew ever.
Yeah, he's like such a clearly Jewish person.
The most
Seinfeld, like, why would you say that?
He's the most New York. He's the most New York Jew.
Dumb,
period.
What?
Oh, you're one of the good ones.
You're one of the good Jews.
Go get in the car crash.
A car jettisoning into a woman with a family inside of a fucking Mitsubishi and her head fucking cracking open like a fucking omelet.
Go Gadget funeral service.
He doesn't even attend a funeral service. He doesn't even attend it. He's like,
all right,
I had to
Go Gadget lawyer. Go ahead.
Last question. Go Gadget Goldman.
Yes.
All right, last one. This kingdom. This is my kingdom come. This is my kingdom come. But obviously, the come is spelled as in the ejaculate.
Nice.
This
is my cum. This is my cum. Go ahead.
I love that audio clip of the Imagine Dragon.
It's fucking amazing.
It's probably the only positive thing they've contributed to society.
You hate them so much.
Okay. Last question by the person I just said. Hello, absent. Well, we're back now, so count your blessings that we came back from the gas station, unlike some other people. How far would you take the separate the art from the author type of mindset? Would you listen to music from Adolf Hitler if he dropped the hottest mixtape?
Yeah, probably.
I probably would check it out.
Just to listen to it, but I wouldn't agree with his views.
I wouldn't buy it. Or you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't buy it or get a poster or go to a show.
Pirate it. How the fuck do you not listen to that? Seriously.
Yeah, you have
exactly.
You gotta be curious.
Like Manson made music, and his music isn't the most horrible shit ever. It's insane.
Veronica showed us that, where it was like she showed us this song that Charles Manson made, and it was like, this is kind of aside from the whole Manson part, it's a pretty decent
aside
song.
From it being Manson, this is not a bad tune. I could bump this.
Yeah. I can't say that I even if it was the greatest thing of all time. Like if he was if he rivaled the best fucking rappers, I wouldn't be able to. I couldn't support it. I would acknowledge it and be like, oh yeah, this is fucking amazing. But I can't if this is getting streams or anything. I can't boost the estate of Hitler. You know
how Pete Davidson's friends were probably like, listen, I love you, but that song's pretty good. Like when Ariana broke up with him or whatever. I feel like it'd be a similar type of deal where it's like you'd have to go up to every Jewish friend you have where it's like, listen, bro, I love you. I love you, bro. You know that. I would die for you. But track 2 on Hitler's recent Spotify release is pretty fucking. It has a pretty good.
Mind Confidence Bitches is actually a really good fucking song. Mind Confidence Bitches, dog.
It would be so mind-blowing.
Hiddling her from the back is a pretty good song.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I could have got more of them is a pretty good song.
Oh my god.
Aside from I know the subject matter's a little, but that's a solid beat, it's a good rhyme scheme. Some solid instrumental work there in the middle fret by Goebbels.
Pole Landing in This Pussy's a pretty good song, man. I'm sorry. You can't tell me it's not a good song. And it's just
no, dude. What about the one where it's Still Here? You ever heard that one? Still Here, where he's I be cruising down in my Beamer, chilling like a G down in Argentina or some shit like that.
Yeah,
I remember it was one of those really good ones.
Yeah, that last track, the closing track, and frankly, such a great. It's a great album. Sorry, he's a terrible person. I don't support anything he did. God forbid, for real. I wouldn't buy a shirt. I wouldn't promote him or anything. I wouldn't go to a show. But that's a good record. Sorry.
That's really. You guys just reminded me of something in high school. There was a project that my friends did. One of my friends did some project, and I don't remember exactly what it was. But he made Anne Frank have a mixtape. like just wrote the tracks out, and her name was Anne Funk.
That's pretty good.
I completely forgot about that.
And
yeah, she had a track list and everything.
I think the Frank family probably has a little bit of humor for that. You know, they'd probably be all right with
funny,
that.
Look, funny is funny. And
Funny's
good
funny.
Is good. Good is good.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I love Kanye West as a music artist, and I love him to death. He's fucking crazy.
Sure,
he's fucking crazy. I'll admit that in a heartbeat. But like I think he makes really, really good music. That's why I like.
Well, he hasn't killed any Jews or anything, so there's no reason not to support him. You know what I mean?
There's a
well, not that we know of.
Look, this is a case-by-case basis thing. Also, like, music is a lot easier for me just because it's so like abstract and kind of like, even if somebody's writing about something that they've been through or whatever, it usually is written in such a way that it's kind of poetically applicable to kind of like the audience as well. And there's kind of like a level of separation there anyway, like by the fact that it's like this person, like fucking Ariana Grande is just in my head because I said her name already, but Ariana Grande isn't just like at a fucking restaurant like singing everything that she fucking does. She's like a human being who speaks, you know, so singing is like just extra thing that they happen to do. I feel like with stuff like comedy is like a little bit different, like a comedian, like Bill Cosby. Like, I don't know if I could watch Bill Cosby stand up now, knowing now that, you know what I mean? Like, I think
what's crazy is that he was
Bill Cosby's stand up is less funny than I think his music would be listenable if he was a musician. You know what I mean? Because terrible musicians, there's all sorts of like really horrible, like, what's that guy? The fucking, isn't that pedophile who fucking wrote that song that's in Joker or whatever the fuck when he's going down the stairs?
Oh yeah, he's the one who wrote the da-na-na-na-na, hey da-na-na-na. He wrote that, right?
Yeah, but like, I mean, like, you're not gonna fucking know that, and even if you do, it's like you kind of like, all right, well, whatever, you know? Because it's like it's not like it's not like him being like da-na-na-na-na, fucking kids, da-na-na-na-na-na-na, pedophile, da-na-na-na, I am one. It's not like this. I don't know, like it's not like one of these like agree. I don't know. It's a lot easier. Other than, but when you hear Bill Cosby being like, and I spent time with a lovely lady, and and things were okay, and it's like, oh,
dude,
well,
he has a joke talking about Spanish Fly, that fucking rape drug shit. Like you're like in retrospect, you're like, oh, this guy's just talking about like his experience. This is kind of, you didn't think about it because how would you know before?
Yeah, you. But
now you're like, oh,
people
that's
didn't know anything.
Up.
People didn't really know anything about that until like mid,
until
like
something
20,
like 90s or something, right?
Well, 2010 is when I knew it was kind of something.
Oh,
that,
you mean
like
okay, I know what you mean.
2010 is when like a lot of, I think, Hollywood people knew, but like I think 2016, 2015, 2014, that around that time is when like it kind of blew the fuck open. So you would have no idea.
He was one of my heroes, bro. I really loved Bill Cosby. I thought he was.
He was a lot of people's heroes.
He was a lot of people's heroes, man.
Yeah. Norm Macdonald, who just passed away, has like an interview about like a Cosby story, and he was like, at the time, he was like, yeah, he's like one of my heroes. You know, I used to listen to you all the time. By the way, that was like terrible news. I felt so sad when I heard that.
That was wild.
Sucks.
That came out of nowhere.
He's just another person. He's another person that just fucking hid that he was sick.
Yeah,
bro. What's his name?
Like Chadwick Boseman and shit.
What's his name? The what you call it? The guy that was on The Wire. Maurice.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, he recently died. And
Michael K. Knight.
Williams.
Or is it Williams?
Is Williams?
I think
I'm fucking. Dude, is it Knight or Williams? Because I'm just fucking
Michael K. Williams.
I feel Williams. Knight somebody else. Sorry.
One of my favorite actors ever on television. Like The Wire. If you haven't watched The Wire, please watch The Wire. It is literally a masterpiece of a show.
People argue that it's one of the best shows ever. So
it's really, really good. And he died random. They found him dead in his house. And it's
That's
like,
crazy.
what the fuck?
That was they don't know what he OD'd. Now people are saying, is it heroin? What could it be? The one thing that it just, I keep hearing about these ODing stories. A lot of times it's always connected to fentanyl. I keep hearing about fentanyl because people getting like
I think
there's some LA comics. Oh, Mac Miller. I actually just watched a documentary about him yesterday. And Mac Miller, some LA comics. Like there were some smaller ones, and one of them I know because she was like, we would chat a little bit, and she's in the hospital. She didn't die. Her name's Kate Quigley. But like some of her other friends, they're at a fucking party, and then they took some bad coke, that was laced with fentanyl. They died because fentanyl is insane. You know, it's just what a bunch of people use. Like, they don't get the real shit. They use the synthetic shit. It kills everybody.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. But Michael K. Williams was like, I never saw The Wire, but like he has one of my favorite lines in Community, because he plays like this teacher who's like an ex-con who just got out of the prison, and he's like working at the school, and he goes like, "Hey guys, I just want to like, what happened with Legos, man? They used to be so simple. I know you know what I'm talking about. It's like, you know, like little blocks and small and big blocks. But now we got like Batman Legos. I'm not saying it's bad. I just want to know what happened." And it's like this genuinely like earnestly acted line where it's like, it's so funny. But yeah, that was it's so sad. Like everybody's, and you know, the fact that Norm just hid the fact that he had cancer this whole time is mind blowing. Like nobody had any. He had it for 10 years and kept it from everyone.
Same thing with Chadwick Boseman, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. There's no. I mean, I guess you just don't want to be seen in that specific way, but
that was. I know Norm specifically was like, well, he never talked about it specifically, but he talked about people being sick, and he was like, I don't want sympathy laughs. Like, if I'm not funny, I want to know I'm not funny, which I thought was like really kind of cool. I don't know. He's a really unique person, just a weirdo. I was really bummed when he
different
when he passed.
He's definitely the most like, his comedy has always been the most like. Sometimes I laugh because it's not funny, but it's funny how he's just sitting there saying what he's saying.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of his comedy, really. He's saying shit, and it's almost like forcing laughter. Like, a lot of times he'll keep going and making it awkward until it becomes funny. I like it.
He was like the comedian's comedian, because like he would make the comics laugh more than the audience. Did you guys ever see this clip of him at like the Bob Saget roast? Where he's just reading these, like, he's reading jokes out of like it's called like Jokes for the Retirement Home. It's just like all these like really terrible. It's like, you know, they tell me, Bob Saget's got the face of a flower. Yeah, a cauliflower. And it's just like all these like really dumb jokes, and the comics are dying, but the audience is just dead silent. And he just the fact that he just bombed the whole time for the audience just to like amuse the people on the panel is just like so fucking funny. And he did that joke about the fucking crocodile hunter like 10 days after he passed away.
Right after he died, bro. And everybody was like, he's like, it's too soon. Did you see what he was doing? And I was just like,
it's like people call me up. People call me up. They were shocked. They were like, guess who died? And it's like, you'll never expect it. The crocodile hunter. And it's, I don't know, man. He's such a weird guy. I'm gonna miss that feller. But
great guy.
Anyway, before we don't want to end things too sad, but
Go Gadget upbeat.
Go Gadget
Gadget palate cleanse.
Yeah, palate cleanse. We're at the end. We're almost at 2 hours, so we're gonna start wrapping this up. Thanks for supporting our show, especially through this weird kind of transitionary period. We appreciate it. We know it's a little bit frustrating, but we're back on schedule now, and everything should be tidy from here on out. And by some chance, if you're not supporting us over on patreon.com/thesnarktank, please go check us out. $1 a month gets you early access to every single episode and access to bonus solo episodes featuring all three of us on our own, answering your questions individually. $5 gets you a question read on the show. $10 gets you access to our Discord server. That's one payment and you're in for good. And $25 gets your name dyslexically read at the end of the show, which I will open the window up to get that sorted right now because I forgot to pre-prepare. But we'll do that right the fuck now.
3,
2. I don't know if he's ready yet.
We're good.
1.
Oh.
All right. Nikki Ziggy. Does Sandman cum sand to avoid unwanted pregnancies? DEDNCYD. Arcane Furukawa. Moldy Combat. Shrinkus Finkeldunk, the warlock who is using the transverse steps. Oh, transversive steps. You piece of shit. $25 gets your name dyslexia read at the end of the show, which I will now do. I am the Grassman. You will pay for your transgressions against the Corn Lord. He who nuts loudest ain't and last ain't right. because united we stand, united we come. The immortal words of the Council of Come. I challenge the other Connor King to a fight to the death. There can only be one. Paraplegics aren't people because people are bipedal. That almost like rhymes like a... That's almost like
a people bipedal. I like it.
It's almost a bar. It's really fucking
That's
petty,
almost a bar. Like roller skater, the bipolar masturbator. Gruben sucking history's fat cock. There goes Derek in his fucking
playing
solar
with colors
flare.
Again.
Stop talking about coronavirus. My Moderna injection sites hurt every time I hear about it. You shithead. I called the Coast Guard to save my anal virginity. Chris Raygun, more like Chris Racism. The Quaalude shot from half court. Heyo, Ryber 525, and the mystery of the sudden uptick in tomboy appreciation. Jack King Hoff, Racist's Snake, 10 hours of Spawn saying Malbosia, relaxing sounds for stress relief, meditation, deep sleep. When you have, and this is because the train for the time you can have is because the reason you did you get that? A Vex simulation gone sexual, tell him Steve Dave, Chris Raygun, more like cringe gay cum. Hey Chris, I know you haven't paid taxes in over 5 years, I'm onto your BS. Tubercularized Arthur Morgan, Andre Brooks, Peggy the boy is alt-right. Not gay Ben, I'm not gay.
Cannon.
Not gay Ben, no really, I'm not, seriously I'm not, I swear you have to believe me. Chris Chan's dripping gooch gas. Derek would fuck the shit out of God to kill him. Bears, if I were an animal I'd be a bear. They're cute.
Oh my
Dear
God.
Lord, I'm glad you remember that.
Oh my God.
You can't forget bears in my body, man.
That's
John
my first
Strickland. Limp Sniggins, Mercs 1889, Dank Magician of Chaos. Yes, Derek, it counts as bestiality if you want to fuck Tali Zora. When in doubt, splooge it out. The First Church of Keith David, Renegade Highway Tires. Just want to hug your face at high velocity. Goops McKenzie. Do I smell a brappy patty? Plankton. You're what are you doing? The femboy
dark nigga.
Yo, you guys.
I look like a racist caricature.
Totally. You look fucking Disney, dude.
You look like what people in the South still fear. Yo,
I close my eyes. Look, I'm gone.
You're looking spooky in every facet of that word. The femboy begging Derek to clap his cheeks. Sammy and his big titty fishy. Try Jesus, not me. I throw hands. I have no problem laying down these hands. Drunken Doulahan, Pre-Roz, Turd Ferguson, R.I.P. Norm. The Tiny Hentai Man, Cum Man, the Man of Cum. Blake 896. The Epic Oshawott, Future Hendrix, the Messiah of Misogyny. Fucking kill me. Hey boss asks of a woman, shove something up her own pee hole. Is it still called sounding? By the way, sorry for misspelling it. I don't know what the hell's going on. Ryan Lucchesi, Chris, I can't live outside a city. I'm a little silly. Let me reread that because I fucked it up. Chris, I can't live outside a city. I'm a little city slicker. Maldonado. Sloshy Scout, Atrasoni. This is my kingdom come. This is my kingdom come. Cute femboy with sexy thigh highs. Tom Sweeney, the atrocious alien fucker. Check out my podcast called How Do We Get Here every Thursday. Ethan Gack, guzzling Chris's cummies. Ooh woo. Keith David's Golden Boys. Chris is so black that if he did blackface, no one would notice. Hard hat
Derek,
skydiver.
You look like Gonzo for a second. Now you look like a white kid that got an operation to turn into a black kid and sitting in a red light.
What the fuck?
You're like an Instagram filter of a baby for some reason. Like you got I can't distinguish your teeth, so it just looks like gums.
Oh yeah.
Ew.
Oh my God, that's gross,
that's disgusting.
Dude, the fuck's wrong?
Ew.
Stop.
Yo, everybody who listens to this on video is gonna have a fucking nightmare. Or watches this on video is gonna have it in store for a nightmare during the credits. Hard hat skydiver, the Khajiit that doesn't talk in third person because his father is H.P. Lovecraft. Yabba dabba domestic abuse, Alaskan oilfield trash, the Korean love child under grandpa's bed, the pussy hat incident of 2016, Marcus Short and Papa Nurgle, Cenk Uyghur, the re-education jar of Xinjiang.
Uyghur? Hey, thanks, bro. Thanks for being a loyal listener to Snark Tank.
Yeah, Cenk Uyghur. Thanks, Cenk.
Cenk Uyghur. Where'd he go? Where'd you go?
Tom's breedable Mexican femboy. Murder Ascended. Keep David, the dyslexic that feels Chris's pain. I'm breaking in, shaping up, and checking out on the prison bus. Lobotomized Jesus, patron saint of pillow humpers. Christopher Big Black Man Boykin. Sorry, babe. The depressive suicidal black metal stays on during sex. The first ever game to introduce Rumble feature, Worm Odyssey. Hiroshima Spicy Mushroom. Citro Kema. Dummy Thick Dave. Heartless Wretch, a.k.a. the idiot who spent over 4 hours trying to find clips of Full Metal Sheen. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. That's a pretty nice cock. 3 Sween Moon hoodie needs to be a thing. That'd be hard to do. But maybe we can figure something out. Yummy, 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 come inside my tummy. Jackson, Absage, Bradley Braith, Hugger Derek, the movie theater manager, Ethereum, Chris Gate, my Bajurian hunting ass, all hands on dick, Arrow, Chris Benoit's new album, Ride the Bowflex, Melphis 1, El Culebron, Richter 86, and as always, rounding out our list of top $25 producers, the King of Haphazard.
The King
of Haphazard. And that's going to be it for us today. We're back. We'll see you again on time next week. Thanks for your support. It means a lot. Also, forgot to mention this, but snarktankmerch.com is when you can... I haven't said it in a while, so like, I should say it again.
Oh, yeah. You gotta get some new pieces up on that bitch.
Don't fuck me.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some new.
We gotta do seasons, boy.
We do. You know what I want to talk to Elvis about like clothing lines and shit because he knows a lot about
that shit.
Yeah, and I don't know the first thing about it, and he seems like a fucking expert on this shit. Also, he makes great shit, by the way. Definitely check out Elvis or Alien Clothing. His brand is awesome.
Dude, I get so many compliments about one of the crew neck sweatshirts that he sent me. It's like the alien chick. It's zipped. Like people are like, I always tell them, fucking Alien Clothing. Check out Elvis Alien online. They're like, oh yeah, sure.
It's unironically like fantastic, and we should. That's not like we're not being paid or anything. It's just genuinely like he's a friend of ours, and it's also just
he's a cool dude.
But we'll see you guys next time.
Fuck you, little bitch.